My no-bake key lime cheesecake with condensed milk recipe is easy and delicious. With plenty of lime zest, lime juice, and a surprising ingredient, lemon lime Kool-Aid, this no-bake cheesecake is going to have the perfect balance of lime, sweet, tart, and cream cheese flavors. Let's go over the ingredients. You will need one 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, one 8-ounce block of cream cheese, softened, 1 tablespoon of lime zest, probably 4 to 6 limes, 1/4 cup of freshly squeezed lime juice, along with 2 tablespoons off to the side. I'll explain why. 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and 1 small packet of lemon lime Kool-Aid, or some other type of lemon lime drink mix. This is unsweetened, so if your drink mix has sugar, you might want to adjust the recipe. Also, I am going to add a little bit of green food coloring. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I think it's going to really give this a great color, but that's totally optional. The first step in this no-bake key lime cheesecake recipe is mixing the 2 tablespoons of sugar with the 2 tablespoons of lime juice that I put off to the side. I am doing this because, like I said, the Kool-Aid is unsweetened and the lime juice is very tart, so I think that without any additional sugar, this won't be sweet enough. I did this exact same thing with my no-bake lemon cheesecake, and I really liked how it turned out, so I'll do the same thing with the lime version. Just gonna do this, mix it in, and then I'm gonna put this in the microwave for about 30 seconds to dissolve the sugar, and then I will bring you back. Make sure that when you put the lime juice and sugar in the microwave, that your container has some height to it, because mine almost boiled over. The second step for this no-bake key lime cheesecake is to combine the dairy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cream cheese into this mixing bowl as I let the lime juice cool down. What I did is I took the can of sweetened condensed milk and the block of cream cheese, and I put them on top of the oven after I took out my graham cracker crust, just so that they could both come to be the same temperature. In this recipe, it's very important that both the cream cheese and the sweetened condensed milk are the same temperature. As you can see, I put the cream cheese into this bowl. I mashed it up a bit just to make it easier to combine. Now I'm ready to add the sweetened condensed milk. I'm going to add this a little at a time, because even though this no-bake key lime cheesecake recipe is easy, this is where it could go wrong. If you combine 2 dairies, or dairy and some other liquid, and they're not the same temperature, you could curdle the dairy. So I'm going to make sure that I do this slowly. I'm going to mix the sweetened condensed milk in case one part of the can is hotter or colder. And little by little, I'm going to mix this in. I'm going to do maybe this much now. Mix it in like that. I just finished combining the sweetened condensed milk and the cream cheese. As you can see, it's nice and smooth. Make sure that they are both the same temperature and that you combine them slowly, and you should be fine. Now for the lime juice. So, like I said, here was the lime juice in which I dissolved the sugar. Here's the lime juice that is fresh. I did not microwave it or anything like that. So in order to cool down this juice, it has been cooling down, but I want to cool it down more. I'm just going to add it to this, stir, and now I'm going to, just like with the sweetened condensed milk, very slowly add this to the cheesecake mixture. I tasted the cheesecake filling and it tastes amazing. This cheesecake is going to be very delicious. Now that the lime juice is added, it's time for the other ingredients. So 1 tablespoon of zest, the pinch of salt. I'm going to scrape this to get a little more zest in there, why not? Along with the 0.13 ounce packet of lemon lime Kool-Aid. Small 0.13 ounce packet. I'm not sure if I'm going to need food coloring, so I'm going to mix this in and see. And I realized I didn't tell you how much of the sweetened condensed milk or the lime juice to add at a time. I would probably just count on adding 1/6 of the can at a time, and the same with the lime juice. I'm going to add a little more color. We'll say 12. Now that the food coloring is thoroughly mixed into the cheesecake filling, all I have to do is pour it in to my 9-inch prepared graham cracker crust. I'm using homemade, but you could use store-bought as well. Then I'm going to smooth it out and then chill it in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours so that it firms up. Baked key lime cheesecake with condensed milk has been chilling in the refrigerator for about 7 hours, so it's time to serve it. A good rule of thumb to know when it's ready and fully set is to touch it. If you touch it and it's not sticky, or it's just minimally sticky, that's a good sign that it's probably firm enough to slice. I was very curious how my cheesecake turned out, so I couldn't wait to take the first bite. And when I finally tried it, I knew that my no-bake key lime cheesecake with condensed milk recipe was a big success. Just like the lemon version I did earlier this year, this key lime cheesecake was absolutely delicious. I thought it had a really good balance between sweetness, tartness, cream cheese, and lime flavor. In all honesty, I felt like the lime flavor wasn't quite as strong as the lemon flavor in the lemon cheesecake, but I think that was probably because with the lemon cheesecake, I used lemonade Kool-Aid, and with this cheesecake, I use lemon lime Kool-Aid, not lime Kool-Aid. I don't think lime Kool-Aid exists, so lemon lime is what I had, but honestly, this was really, really good, and it had a strong lime flavor. And as I cut the first piece, you can see that it definitely firmed up and held its shape when I sliced it. Both the filling and the homemade graham cracker crust. And in addition to the flavor, I really like the combination of creamy filling and crunchy crust. In regards to color, I think you could probably get away with no food coloring. I think it would still be a nice shade of green, just lighter than this one. And in all honesty, I actually envisioned a much darker shade of green, but after 12 drops of green food coloring, I didn't want to add any more. And honestly, I think that it still turned out a nice shade of green anyway. The one thing I did want to point out is that even though the cream cheese did not curdle when I added the sweet condensed milk or the lime juice, I'm not sure if you can see it in the video, but when I added the 12 drops of food coloring, it actually did slightly curdle. At that point, I actually kind of went into panic mode. I thought that I had ruined the recipe. But I poured the cheesecake filling into the graham cracker crust, put it in the refrigerator, and hoped for the best. When I sliced into it, it didn't obviously look like it had curdled, and when I took my first bite, I didn't notice any odd texture. With this close-up, you might see a couple balls of curdled cream cheese, but like I said, it wasn't a big deal. I was surprised that the green food coloring curdled the key lime cheesecake filling, but I did some research online and I saw people in online baking forums talking about how liquid food coloring can cause buttercream to curdle. So I guess I learned something by making a mistake. But that small issue aside, I was really pleased with how my easy no-bake key lime cheesecake with condensed milk recipe turned out. I like the flavor, I like the texture, I like the color, and this recipe is perfect if you're looking for a no-bake cheesecake recipe without eggs and without gelatin. The key lime flavor is light and refreshing, so it would be the perfect dessert after a summer barbecue, a picnic, or even the holidays. It's that good. Just make sure that your dairy is at the same temperature. And if you do want a nice shade of green, don't add as much liquid food coloring or add gel food coloring. Although using a store-bought graham cracker crust would make this no-bake cheesecake recipe super easy, as always, I suggest using a homemade graham cracker crust with a touch of cinnamon. If you make this, I know you'll love it. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.